a guest today, and she's Mom.
Mom's back. I'm back, everyone.
This is Norma Shepherd, everyone, from Norma Shepherd's Catering. Mom, it's so glad to have you again. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here to help prepare some of your delicious dishes.
And today, as promised, everyone, we're going to do deviled eggs. Woo! And so, Mom, you're here to show us how to make the perfect deviled egg. And I'm ready.
Well, thank you. Thank you. When boiling the eggs, make sure you have enough water in your pot to cover them. And then once the eggs start boiling, boil them for only 3 minutes and turn the light out.
Okay.
Let them stay in that hot water for maybe 20 minutes. And then the water is very hot, so you go to your sink and you let a little cold water run in the pan.
Oh.
Then after the cold water is running, now your water is lukewarm.
Oh.
Then you take your egg out and it'll break perfectly. See how easy that feels?
Very easy.
That's because it's been sitting in warm water and it'll peel right off. No problem. And you know, you hate to peel an egg with bricks up these teeny little pieces like that. That's a nuisance.
It is a nuisance.
And this way it comes right off in big hunks like that. See that? Very easy to peel. If you run into a little problem, you just dip it back into the warm water.
Dip it back in warm water.
And you'll see it'll come right off. Ready to cut our eggs.
Okay.
Cut the egg in half, as close to half as you can. And take the yolk out. Put it in a container where you're going to mash it. You take it out and put them on this little plate. And as you can see, it has grooves just for eggs.
Okay, we got that done. What's next, Mom?
I'm ready to chop the eggs up out of our little choppers. You just have a bowl and chop them up. And if you don't have a chopper, use a fork. And they'll do just as well. So now you may start chopping.
Okay.
And make sure you chop them all very fine. And any problem with chopping or mashing, put a little mayonnaise in it.
Okay. Anything left over, we take a spoon or actually one of these spatulas and get the rest out because we want every bit as much as possible.
Now, when we mash the egg yolk, it looks like a little bit and it doesn't look like it'll fill these eggs up. However, when you get your other ingredients in, it'll more than fill them up, and you'll see. Because after we mix everything in, then we're going to add them stuff the eggs. That's how you get your stuffed eggs or deviled eggs.
Right.
So now let's start deviling.
Okay, what's next, Mom?
Start with our mayonnaise.
All right, and how much mayonnaise do we use?
2 tablespoons for 6 eggs.
Okay, we have the mayonnaise in.
As we begin to stir the mayonnaise a little bit, then we're going to add other ingredients. So just stir that in a little bit.
Okay.
And see how we're doing with consistency.
Oh, okay. All right.
We don't want it too runny and we don't want it too dry.
What's next?
Add a drop of your mustard.
Okay, here's the mustard.
Here's the mustard.
This is how much mustard is
That's a
this?
teaspoon of mustard.
Teaspoon.
Now we're only dealing with 6 eggs. If we had more eggs, if we had a dozen eggs, then we would double these ingredients.
Okay, and mix it again?
Now you put your relish in.
Okay. And we drain the relish.
Yes, always drain your relish because that way it won't be a runny mixture. The consistency will be fine. But the relish will give it the taste that you want. Now add 2 teaspoons of relish.
2 teaspoons of relish. And so this happens sometimes, I think, Mom, deviled eggs that are a bit runny maybe is because the relish
has not been drained or your mayonnaise, you have too much mayonnaise.
Okay, good. And this is 2 teaspoons. Yeah. Now we want to add the
seasoned salt and black pepper.
Okay. And just a pinch. Just a pinch.
With a pinch.
Okay. Just a pinch of salt. Like that. Hold it down. Because if you hold it up, you sneeze. Down, you won't sneeze. Mom, you said that you like the consistency of this.
Well, you know how you want to taste an egg. You don't want to run it off of your fingers, and you don't want to be like that sticking to your tongue either. So you just keep stirring and mix until you get the consistency that you want. So either you add a little more relish or a little more mayonnaise. But this seems to be just fine.
It's pretty thick. If you can tell, right?
It's pretty thick.
It's pretty thick. Mom, do you want to taste it a little bit?
Yes, sure. Let me taste it and see that we have it just right.
Okay.
Gotta be just right for Kim's audience. That's perfect.
That's perfect. It's perfect, Mom?
Perfect.
Oh, wow. It's perfect, everybody. We're going to begin stuffing.
What I do, I pick up a half of an egg and stuff it in my hand because you can do it better. You can do it faster and better. So just put enough in there, have a little bit over, and if you had egg left over, you just go around and stuff the rest.
When you stuff the eggs, you always stuff from the bottom to the outside. Yeah, and that's what I see her still doing. And what I also see her doing is that Mommy is not really overstuffing them right now. She's just layering them in, making sure that the bottom is full. Did you do that on purpose, Mom?
Yes, I did. And not only that, we're making sure we have enough batter or egg mixture to fill all the halves.
Okay.
And once we fill all the halves, then we can go over and make like mounds with the leftover. And there will be leftover.
Okay. There will be leftover. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to start.
Okay. Now, as I mentioned to you before, Kim,
yes,
you're going to have mixture left over.
And we do. We have some left over.
So just on the eggs that we didn't fill up as much as we could have.
Okay.
Just go through the rest of them, pile them up.
Okay. All right. Okay? I'll do that now.
You would love to get the yellow in your mouth.
Yes.
The eggs really look nice so far. We're not finished yet.
Ah, there's more?
There's more, especially if you're making eggs for a party. Your presentation means a lot.
Tell me about presentation, Mom.
You know, even if the food doesn't taste as good as you think it should, or people say, I don't like that. If the presentation is nice and pretty, they'll say, oh, that looks nice. It must be delicious. So now we're going to decorate the eggs a little.
But wait a minute, Mom. I have to say this. In another video that I made recently, I was talking just about that, and I was thinking of you. I was telling them that I love color, and I love color. If you place the food on your plate in a nice, colorful way, you said presentation, which is the same thing, right?
Yes.
It just makes it for a more delicious, appetizing look.
Absolutely. And people will say, even if they don't like it, that looks delicious. And once they taste it, they say, it is delicious.
If it's seasoned on purpose.
That's right. That's what we're calling.
Right, Mom?
Yes. Now we're going to start to add a little color.
Okay. Get back here, buddy. There.
Flatten your egg out a little.
What do you mean?
Mix it.
Oh, okay. Hold on, everybody. I'm getting a little lesson here myself. I have to flatten it out. If I flatten it out more, then it'll stay put.
Stay where you put it.
Gotcha. Okay. We are all learning.
Yeah, that's right. It's a big girl.
We are all learning.
All right, now what we're going to
Mom,
do,
what's next?
This is just a little pimento with cream cheese.
Okay.
Just to give it color. And we're going to do every other one with a little blue cheese in it or a little cheese in it.
Okay.
And we're going to add just for color, because they're cut very small.
Okay.
And every other one, we're just going to lay it in the center.
Okay.
This is for presentation when someone says, you bring the deviled eggs. Okay, I will. And when you show up with these eggs, they're going to say, even if I don't like eggs, they look delicious. And when you taste them, they say, give me a couple more. Eggs never hold it. They always run out. The first thing people eat are all your deviled eggs.
Unless they're not good. And then you'll see some leftover deviled eggs.
Right.
And sometimes, Mom, another option is to put olives, right? Did you say that?
Definitely olives. Yeah, I like olives. That gives them olives that are with the red pit in, of course. And that gives it color also.
Okay. And not everyone loves olives, but it's not necessarily for the taste. It's for the appearance, the color.
Now, if you notice, we did every other one. So we want a little more color. We're going to add a little basil for color and aroma. It makes you want to eat up all the food you see, because it not only looks nice, it smells nice. One more, Kim. Your job is almost over. Well, when you're cooking, you have to, if you're inventing things, you have to take your time. That's the only way I take my time is cooking.
Right.
Finished?
Not finished yet, but
it's getting there.
Yes.
We're going to add a little cayenne pepper for a little more color.
Okay.
And of course, a little more taste.
But isn't cayenne pepper, Mom, a little spicy?
Yes, but we're not adding that much. Look what I did.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No,
and you really can't tell,
no,
right?
You can't. Just
and you want just a little bit, just for color.
Just for color.
Okay.
That's all. That's all. You can't really tell that it's, That's spicy.
Oh, this is looking
People
nice.
say, I can't eat spicy stuff. You won't even know if this is spicy. These are your deviled eggs, and I think they turned out perfect. However, for a little more fancier stuff, we're going to make it for presentation when we take them to a party or to your mother-in-law's house.
And Mom, you also mentioned something else that you can use in terms of garnishing the egg.
Leaves on the celery stalk. Instead of, a lot of people throw them away. I use them for sprinkling on my meats when I bake meats, and then I also use them for where I use the other garnish here. I use the celery leaves, just cut them a little bit and stick them where it gives them color. So if you have these, this is pimento. But a lot of times I use the olive with the red pit, slice them very thin. But every other one is the celery stalk, not the stalk, the celery leaf and the olive, the red chili. And it's just as pretty as this. Very tasty.
Every time I give you a tip, everyone, I'm always thinking about Mom.
And another tip, if you don't have a plate with the egg grooves in it, what I do, I put
Paper towel?
paper towel on a plate or whatever you're going to carry. If you're carrying it to someone's house, and the eggs will move around. You put them on the paper towel if you don't have the grooves plate, and they will stay. They will not move around. Another tip is you want to make your deviled eggs the day before. You do your eggs and you make your mixture, and you cut your eggs in half, and you put them on this paper towel. So don't stuff them until the next day when you're ready to go to the affair, because it only takes you 5 minutes to stuff them, and maybe 5 minutes more to put the garnish on, and they'll be ready to go.
Thanks, Mommy.
Yeah.
And finally, I remember you were saying you have to put your work in for it.
Oh yeah, you do. You have to put your time in. You really do. And take your time. Nobody wants food thrown at them. You take your time, and the presentation is important. You take your time and present it nice. Even if people don't like it, oh, that looks delicious, I want some of that. You know, that's because you've taken your time and you put love in your food.
Yes.
Plenty of love in your food, and it'll go over big every time.
Every time. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in to Kim's Seasoned on Purpose, savory and delicious home-style cooking. And Mom, it's always a pleasure.
Oh, it's a pleasure being here. I really enjoy it. Even though I've retired from my catering business, she still has me out here catering. Not catering, but preparing food.
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen, can't you see why? Well, that's it for today. And remember, subscribe, like, and hit that bell. Because don't you want to be notified the next time that I make and we make one of these delicious dishes? Yes. So we look forward to hearing from you. And try these deviled eggs. Try what? You boil, this was 6 eggs. It makes 12 halves. That's not a lot. Try 3 eggs. It makes 6 halves. Go small if you haven't done it before. And if you have done it before and they never quite turned out right, go small first. And try it. And then comment and let us know how it turned out.
Yes, we would love to hear from you.
Well, the next time Mom comes on, I think we're going to be making something like, what is it, spinach noodle casserole, Mom?
Yes, spinach noodle casserole. Some people call it green noodle casserole. But it's very interesting, and I'm certain that you'll like it. As a matter of fact, when I was going strong in my catering business, I couldn't make enough of those casseroles. Everybody wanted, what is it? What do you call that? Green noodles, spinach noodle, whatever. I said, okay, I'll make it again. I can do it in my sleep if I make so many.
Well, she's going to do it right here on Seasoned on Purpose. Bye for now, everybody. Oh, and don't forget, make it a great day.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Mom.